What's up, YouTube? PokePrimer here, primed and ready to deliver you our Week 1 match for NPBF Season 17. This week we are taking on our boy Alex, fellow admin Alex, and the Greenwich Giratinas. Of course, we get a former champion and one of the top-ranked guys in the league, Week 1. That just pretty much checks out, I'm not going to lie. That just kind of feels standard, if I'm being honest with you. Kind of doesn't really get much better than that. So we're just gonna have to see how this one plays out. It's gonna be a fun match for sure. I love playing against. I love playing against him. It's always a fun time. But his team, as you can see on the screen, there is pretty tough. Pretty tough. He has the Slitherwing, Sylveon. As always, Ceruledge, Jolteon, Amoonguss, Copperajah, Vaporeon, Mismagius, Altaria, and the Dunsparce. So, a couple things about this team. One, Slitherwing, terrifying. It's so strong. It's so strong. Bug fighting is actually, like, unironically, a really strong typing pair against my team. It just goes hard. And I hate that. I'm not looking forward to having to try to deal with that. I hated prepping for it. It was very painful. Sylveon is annoying, but it's not as annoying as it used to be. But it still, does all the things that Sylveon does, except for Heal Bell, because they took that away from it, which I think is hilarious. Ceruledge, I've gotten a lot of usage out of, and this is the mon I'm scared of, unironically, the most. I have things to deal with it, obviously, but that doesn't mean that they're great. So, keep that in mind always. This is going to be a terribly rough mon to deal with. Jolteon, it's fast Volt Switcher. It's kind of cool. He has a triple Eon core, which is annoying as heck to deal with. Amoonguss is going to be a pain. It's so fat. It's just switching in and out all the time. It's going to be horrible to deal with. It's regenerator nonsense. Copperajah is a fine steel type. Not the best steel type, but it's better than what we have, so I can't really fault him for that. He did what he could with his team as well. Vaporeon's fat, wish-passing nonsense is going to be a nuisance, to say the very least. And yeah, I don't like Vaporeon. I mean, the Vaporeon doesn't have Scald anymore, which is really cool. I do like that it doesn't have Scald in Heal Bell. That's a huge double plus for me, but still annoying. Altaria is just kind of there. I'm not really super stressed about Altaria. I don't really expect it to show up. Dunsparce is another story. Eeveelite Dunsparce is so unbelievably fat, and it does all the same things that Dunsparce does, and, like, spreads paras, and coils, and body slams, or paras everything, and then headbutts, flinches everything to its demise, and it's just, I don't want to have to deal with it. It's gonna suck. It's gonna suck so bad. So, there's a lot of crazy mons on this team. It's gonna be really tough. But we're gonna make do with what we got. Yeah. So first one we're bringing. The thought process with the team is I need to find ways to defensively get around some of these things like Slitherwing and Ceruledge, while also trying to find ways to break through this team as best as I can. I think I've found the routes I need to take for this matchup. It's just going to be a difficulty getting there. So we'll see how that plays out. I'm concerned, obviously, but I'm always concerned about these things. But yeah, first one we're bringing is going to be Ariana Grande, the Scream Tail. I didn't really go over why I called it Ariana Grande, but it sings. It's got the long ponytail kind of thing going on. That's kind of like one of her things that she has, I guess. I don't know. I don't pay attention to modern music, or like modern, like popular music stuff. I don't really pay attention to a lot of them, so and Ariana Grande was just the first popish singer person that popped into my head. Yeah, this I went for a bulky setup set. Went with enough speed, timid nature to outpace Miss Magius, which allows me to outpace everything on this team bar Jolteon, which is good, which is always good. I do like outspeeding teams. So, being able to outspeed things is great. Get some. I have Wish, Calm Mind, Psyshock, Flamethrower. So this thing has the potential to sweep if I can get up enough boosts. I have to make sure Ceruledge is weaker though, because it does have like a pretty solid stat line. It's a really solid Pokemon, of course. No, very, very solid Mon. Without any debate on that. I won't have anyone try to debate me on it because you're wrong. However, its defense is weaker than its special defense, so if I can get a Calm Mind or 2 up, Psyshock is going to be doing a good enough amount of damage that I potentially can 2-hit KO it, depending on his spread, which is nice. We have the Sea Berry plus the max defense to allow us to kind of tank a Shadow Claw from Ceruledge, as that's its best consistent Ghost Stab. Obviously, if he crits us, he's still going to get the 2-hit KO. He's going to get the 2-hit KO out of it, but with the Sea Berry, it gives us our best chance to not be 2-hit KO'd by that thing, which is great. The rest ended up just going into HP to kind of give us a little bit of extra bulk to it. But basically, like, if I can get set up enough with this thing, it's his only way of getting rid of this. I think it's like Haze on Vaporeon. I think Vaporeon gets Haze. Haze on Vaporeon and Clear Smog on Amoonguss. I can rip through Amoonguss with a Psyshock. And Vaporeon, if it has Haze, well then it has Haze. And I just have to deal with that when we get to it. There's not much else I can do. I don't know what you want from me. Vaporeon actually is like an incredibly difficult mon for me to deal with my team. There's just not a lot I can do to Vaporeon. So it is what it is. That's a mon that's going to be super problematic the entire game. And it's just, I accepted that fact a while ago. Yeah, if I can get up a couple boosts, I could potentially sweep with this thing, and that would be great, because it needs to be able to do something. Next mon we're bringing is Easy Bake, the Rotom Heat with the safety goggles. This is my default switch into Amoonguss every single time. His only immunity to electric is the Jolteon. So I can potentially, if Jolteon doesn't show up for some reason, I can potentially Volt Switch for free. I don't expect it to not show up, honestly, because I'm smart enough to see I don't have an actual ground type. So, with not having an actual ground type, that kind of makes it a little bit easier for him to just bring Jolteon and probably run specs and Volt Switch all over me. But, yeah, that's a thing we're just going to have to learn to deal with. Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Thunder Wave, and Overheat. If I can predict the Jolteon coming in and hit it with an Overheat, that'll be massive for us. I think that will be... That's the big damage I'm going to need. Because, frankly, I need something. And once I get rid of Jolteon, it makes it a little bit easier to deal with Vaporeon, as long as I can get Rotom Heat in against it. So we're going to try our damnedest to do so. Yeah, and if I can pass some T-Waves around, that's going to be really clutch as well. Because, like I said, healing-wise, I don't know if he has a mon that has Heal Bell or anything like that. I don't think so. I think maybe Miss Magius has Heal Bell. I think it does, but I could be entirely wrong. I'm going to check that now. I don't know if he has Heal Bell. No, he does not. So if I can get all these, if I can get a bunch of his mons paralyzed, that's going to make this match so much easier. Because then I can start just kind of spamming attacks and beating his team down. And there's not a lot he can do about it. He's just going to end up getting worn down and beat down a lot. So that's kind of the plan here, is just spread T-Waves, get rid of Jolteon, spread T-Waves, and hopefully profit. That's the entirety of my game plan here. We'll see if that plays out that way. I can't really see it going too well, but we're going to try our best. But yeah, that's our Rotom set. We have Bombs Away the Bombardier, Choice Scarf, Rocky Payload. We have enough speed to outpace the Slitherwing. So anything that's Slitherwing and below that is Choice Scarf, we will outspeed it. Only things we wouldn't outspeed are a Scarf Jolteon, which I wouldn't expect to outspeed anyway, but I don't expect to see Scarf Jolteon. Maybe Quick Feet could be a thing, but I don't expect to see Scarf Jolteon in this match. I think, honestly, if he was anything, he's going to be Choice Specs. So we'll see how that one plays out. Or like a Scarf Ceruledge, which Ceruledge doesn't hit me super hard. If he's not like super set up, I can tank a hit from him if I need to. And also Scarfus Magus would outspeed me, which is fine. I don't really think Scarfus Magus is would be a huge issue for me. I have ways to get around that. I'm not really super stressed about it. We have Knockoff, Brave Bird, Drill Run, and Parting Shot. Parting Shots just kind of keep us with some form of momentum, and again, like I said before, momentum is going to be huge in this game. And keeping him weakened so he can't break me is going to be very, very nice. Any way to keep his Mons weaker is going to be huge. Knockoff is going to be big. Get rid of all of his passive recovery. Get rid of Boots if he has them. I don't actually remember if I have Hazards on this team, but potentially get rid of Boots if he has them, so I potentially use Hazards against him. And Brave Bird's just really strong. It hits his team really, really hard. His only real switching to Brave Bird is Copper unless he terastallizes one of his low tiers into Electric or Steel. Those are his only options for tanking Brave Birds. So if Copper doesn't show up for some reason, I can click Brave Bird pretty free later in the game, especially once I can get those paras off on things. I think that will be massive. And being able to just click Brave Bird, spam it, and just hopefully rip a hole through his team will be a huge, huge boon for us. Next up, we have Quetzal the Gargantical with the leftovers. We do not have rocks on this team, so it doesn't really matter. Assault Cure, Heavy Slam, Body Press, Recover. Max HP, 248 defense, 8 in Spadef with 8 Careful Nature. 8 in Spadef, what was that for? I think this makes it so I'm not 2-hit KO'd by Spec Sylveon's Hyper Voice, which is cool, because this monster's just so chunky. So I do like that. Assault Cure is one of the dumbest moves in the game. It just never goes away. You have to switch out to get rid of it. If you don't switch out, you're just going to keep taking the Assault Cure damage. And it does so much damage. It does a quarter health to Steel and Water types, which I think is insanely good, right? Because, if Vaporeon wants to come in on this thing, this is a rock type that Vaporeon doesn't want to try to switch into. Because it doesn't want to take that Soul Cure, and then have to take that 25% health every turn. It has to constantly be wishing to try to keep itself up. And so I can just spam Body Press against it, force it to either waste its wishes or force it to switch out. It's a rock type that can force a Vaporeon out, which I think is so funny. It's such a funny concept to me that, I could potentially just force out Vaporeon, because I just get to keep clicking Body Press after I Assault Cure it, which is hilarious. And his other mon that might want to switch into this thing, being the Copper obviously does not want to get hit with Assault Cure, because 25%. And then Unless he's running a bunch of speed, I'll be a little bit faster than the Cabaraja, and I can hit him with a body press afterwards. That's why I threw that 248 into the defense as well, to make sure I had the strongest body presses I can in this matchup, and then I went max HP. Leftovers to keep this thing alive. Recover as well is useful. And then I have the Heavy Slam because, you know, obviously, like, Heavy Slam just kind of OHKOs Seaseon and just gets rid of it entirely, which is great. It also hits a lot of his, like, lower tier mons pretty good. It's just a strong move. Body press hits everything really, really hard as well. So that's cool. Don't really have a switch in to Slitherwing at all, by the way. It's just not really a thing we have on the team, so we're just figuring that out as we go. Next up, we have Meh, the Lucario. He's Meh. Life Orb. Steadfast, fine ability for this. Double check. Is there anything that I could potentially gain benefit from? Anything that'll make me flinch? No. Maybe. Actually, with Dunsparce around, I kind of have to do that, don't I? I kind of have to go with this. Yeah. I have to go with Inner Focus. Just because of Dunsparce. Because Dunsparce paralyzes me and tries to flinch me down, I'm going to get really ticked off. Life Orb, Inner Focus. This thing's just 4 attacks. I'm going to try to punch really hard and break through things with it. Meteor Mash, Close Combat, Earthquake, Extreme Speed. Meteor Mash is hits the opposing team incredibly hard. And I'm hopeful that it just kind of starts nuking things and we can get lucky and get those boosts, that 20% boost, because, God, do I need it. This mon needs all the help it can get. Close Combat nukes a lot of mons on the team, and if I can get like a boost or two, I become very threatening with my extreme speeds. Even with one boost, I'm very threatening with just Close Combat against a lot of the team. Only things that outspeed me are Mismagius and Jolteon, which are, you know, annoying, obviously, but, like, Mismagius, I have mons that can come in on it pretty effectively without any real issues. It also can't terrestrialize into anything that, like, makes it super duper good against me. I think it does have Mystical Fire, which can hit me pretty good, but I'm overall not too bothered by it. But we have the Earthquake. Earthquake allows us to be able to break through the Ceruledge. That's just the coverage move that we needed for that. And that pretty much is it. And, you know, Fighting plus Steel hits everything on his team, bar the Ceruledge, and Earthquake is there, and then we have the Extreme Speed for priority. So this mon could very well do a lot of things in this game. I'm interested to see if it actually does do anything in this game. We'll see. But yeah, Lucario is there. And last but not least, we have Piglet the Disco, our Oinkologne. I went with Terra Water this week. I'll explain at some point. We have the Citrus Berry with Thick Fat, Body Slam, Stuffed Cheeks, Body Press, and Terra Blast. So we have Forward Speed. Forward Speed allows us to be 1 point faster than Vaporeon if it's uninvested. So that's something. Body Slam is just for stab, so we potentially get some paras on things that way as well. Then we have Stuffed Cheeks plus Body Press. We have 172 HP. I went with that number just because I like the 404 number, honestly. I didn't really need that much. I just liked it. Max Defense, Impish Nature, and the rest went into our attack. I believe that attack actually is beneficial because it allows Terra Water, Terra Blast to 2-hit KO Ceruledge, which I think is really nice. We also completely, like, hard wall Ceruledge in the most hilarious ways, because we're Thick Fat, so we'll eat up any bitter blades he wants to throw our way. We're initially water type, so he kind of has to go for close combat against us. I originally was going to do Terra Ghost, but I felt like that... The fact that I didn't OHKO it with Terra Blast was kind of like the big uh-oh, no-no that I didn't like. Because basically he's forced to click close combat against this thing, right? we Terra Ghost, that he's immune to it, but he also doesn't get the stat drops. And so Terra Blast doesn't do enough damage. But if we Terra Water, he close combats, he still does a good little chunk of damage to us, but not that much. And if we can stuff Cheeks before he comes in, and get our +2 defense up, that is going to be really crucial, because then we can just kind of chew the hit, and Terrasilize in front of him, chew the hit, and watch as he just, like, dies inside. As this thing Terra Blasts and blows his Cerulege out of the water. Getting out of normal typing in this match is also really solid. Potentially against Vaporeon, because it allows us to kind of wall that thing as well. We just kind of sit in front of it, and we can potentially spam Body Slam until we get the para on it and such like that. And we can spam Body Presses against it. It also makes it so that Slitherwing isn't super effective against us, which is always a good thing. So we can Body Slam that thing as well. Just overall, I think Oinkologne has some potential here. I went with a Citrus Berry as well, just because I kind of wanted to have a berry that would heal us when we stuff Cheeks. So that way we could, take a little damage, stuff our Cheeks, get our health back up, probably to full, depending on how much damage we do take, and be able to go from there. But that's going to be our team. I'm going to go message Alex real quick, and we'll go ahead and hop right into the battle. Alrighty, we are here for the game. Let's go ahead and accept the challenge from Alex and see what he brought. Okay, he does bring the Slitherwing and the Cerulege, of course, as I expected. He does bring the Sylveon and the Vaporeon. No Jolteon, which is very cool. Very happy to see that. I can just spam T-Wave against things, which is going to be great. He does bring the Amoonguss. He does bring the Copperajah. Kind of interested, kind of surprised by the Copperajah bring. Did not expect that one to show up, but maybe he wanted to bring rocks for this game. We'll see. No Mismagius. His only Mon that can Terrasilize, actually, is the Vaporeon, which is going to be interesting. We see what type he wants to go into for that. I think he might go Grass. Thinking he might, yeah, I think Grass would be the Terra type he might go with, because he would have been expecting the Lurantis, maybe. Alright. So where do I want to start with? Well, I think there's no real downside to leading with Bombardier, right? Like a Parting Shot. Yeah, I can Parting Shot out immediately on this. Just doop, out we go. Do I go Rotom first, or do I want to go Quetzal first? I think I go Quetzal first. He does go for the Hyper Voice, 44. So much damage, dude. So much damage. That's just looking like an offensive Hyper Voice, which is no bueno. I'm going to Salt Cure. He knows I probably have Heavy Slams. Yeah, that's definitely Specs. That's definitely Choice Specs. Wait. Did I not EV this to live? I swear to God, that was what this whole thing that EV spread was all about. Yeah, no. He 100%. 100% is Choice Specs. I'm Salt Curing. I'll get Salt Cure going on something. I don't want to Heavy Slam immediately, because I think he can just go into either of these two and just kind of not care. But if I get the Salt Cure off now, I think that puts us in a good spot. Get some good chip on something. It's the Amoonguss, okay. Go hard Rotom without hesitation, and then click Volt Switch. As he potentially goes Ceruledge, I think. I think that's the play. It's Soul Cure, such good damage. That's solid damage. Giga Drain. Or do I just click T-Wave immediately? I think I just T-Wave immediately. Oh, big T-Wave. Let's go. Alright. Now we'll Volt Switch out on this. That's huge. That's going to be huge. I'm going to keep doing this, dude. I promise you, everything on your team will be paralyzed or dead. That is my goal. I got a crit. Not really huge damage, but kind of want to see what that's looking like. Volt Switch, crit. That's probably like AV. I want to say that has to be AV. I want to say that's Assault Fast. Crit, Volt Switch. Wouldn't do that much. So he's got like... He's very bulky, Ceruledge. For that to crit and only do 22, he's very bulky. Like, very bulky Spadef-wise. We're going to go into Quetzal here. He gets fully parried. Nice. Just going to go ahead and Soul Cure again. There's literally no reason for me to not click Soul Cure. This Soul Cure gets such good damage on everything. Oh, here it is. Give me that. I want to see the 25. Oh, that feels dirty. Okay. So we got Garganacl in against Vaporeon. Does not have Scald in this generation. So it's either going to be Chilling Water, which does no damage to me, or Surf, which would do a decent amount of damage to me. 2 KOs me, but cover once, get to full, he goes Electric. Interesting. That does save him from the Soul Cure, which is very annoying. I'm going to Body Press, get a little bit of damage off. Okay. Him going Electric kind of sucks. I don't like that. Surf kills us here. He's wishing Surf. He can't get paralyzed anymore either, which really sucks. Oh, that stinks. That's really bad for my entire game plan. Okay, we do need to keep this thing alive. I'm gonna go Scream Tail here. I'm gonna Surf, that's fine. I'll throw my own Wish up. He goes Copperajah. It's understandable. I think I can get a lot out of going Rotom here. He might try to catch Garganacl coming back in. He goes for Heavy Slam. Yeah, that's fine. In theory, I could potentially overheat here, but I don't want to. I'm going to T-Bolt initially. Alright, so all of his team names are bands. Very cool. Very cool. He said his teams required a little bit of homework. So, very intrigued by that. Very, very, very big fan of that. He gets paralyzed again. Dude, that sucks. That's really tough. I'm gonna recover. I have to recover. I have to keep Quetzal as healthy as I can. I think that he wishes here. He surfed here, which is bad. Very bad. Very bad. Don't like that. We saw the salt cure damage was... What's the salt cure damage? Initial salt cure damage. On this thing, 10%. Okay, so he's physically defensive. How much is Lucario doing if he is Terra Electric? 50%. That's not enough. Okay, I do have to go into Bombardier here, I think. Yeah, this thing does so much damage. Jesus Christ. It's so strong. Alright, I'm going to knock. I want this thing to not have leftovers anymore. I think that that's going to be... I think that'll help us a lot going forward. I could try to pass some wishes around with Screamtail later. And go from there. He's already sussed out that I am Scarf, which sucks, but I'm gonna get rid of your leftovers. He has Terra Blast. Okay. So we lose Bombardier, but we get rid of his leftovers, which is gonna be big for us, I think. You see his whole moveset, though, so I can actually set up on this. Possibly. How set up do I have to be with Screamtail against Copperajah? Saw Heavy Slam. Heavy Slam did... Where did I hit with Heavy Slam? It hit... Easy Bake. Heavy Slam did 13%, so he's not adamant. He's bulky. He's definitely bulky. Yeah, he's bulky. Yeah, I need a lot of setup to be able to break that thing without assistance. You have to go back into you and just click. Like Earthquake. Just hit you as hard as I can. Hope I crit you, honestly. I have to hope that I crit you. I could have tried to wish this thing up later, but he might just kill me right now, and that's fine. You could also potentially try to go Ceruledge. He hasn't seen what item I am yet, so he might think I'm like Banded, and he would die to a Banded hit. So I think Earthquake is safe here. Earthquake would kill the Ceruledge. We would also do a good chunk to the Copperajah. Big damage, big damage. He does surf and kill, okay. But that is humongous, right? Because now this thing is weak, and I can just kind of come in with anything and threaten it. I'm just going to go pick a Disco and Body Slam. Body Slam's kind of no drawback here. If he goes Ceruledge, I can just Terrastalize and Terra Blast it. And that should be enough to kill it. And we get rid of the Vaporeon. That is huge! Huge! Okay, good. Good. Okay. What's he go into here? You could go Slitherwing. He does go Slithering. And this is where we lose. I have to go Rotom. First impression did so much, damn it. Okay. Slitherwing. Let's look at Choice Band first. That is Choice Banded first impression. That is 100% Choice Banded first impression. I know that to be a fact. I'm going to click T-Bolt. And I'm going to click T-Bolt again. So I can get rid of the Ceruledge, which puts us on a little bit of a better spot. I do need to be careful here. I hope this isn't a roll. It does kill. Okay, cool. Ceruledge is gone. I do need to be very careful of the Slitherwing, though, because if this thing locks itself into close combat, we are in a world of trouble. All day, every day. But I know that's Bandit, I know that's Specs. I can probably figure out what the Amoonguss is. Let me go scroll back and see what that was. Soul Cure did 15% to Amoonguss. Soul Cure did 15%. He's not physically defensive, he's specially defensive as hell. Yeah, he's specially defensive. Fully specially defensive Amoonguss. Has to be. We know he's not like Eevee or anything, so we've seen the Black Sludge. Do I need this? This is like my best way of getting rid of the Slitherwing. And the Copperajah, so I do need to save this. I'm going to Volt Switch out. I want so badly to T-Wave, but I can't afford to do so. I just can't. So I have to Volt Switch. And go into Garganacci. Well, yeah, I have to Volt Switch and go into Garganacl. Go from there. Specsilion just kind of roasts me. I kind of have to just sack Garg at this point in time. There's not much else I can do about it. I have to do what I have to do. Well, actually, why am I threatened by Specs Hyper Voice right now? Versus Sylveon. I'm kind of interested as to why this came in. 52. Choice Specs. I mean, it still does a lot, don't get me wrong. It does a lot. No, I Volt Switch. Yeah, I have to Volt Switch here. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. Who do I think is more useful for the rest of this game? You I can still stuff Cheeks with and get some body presses off. Maybe? Potentially be a problem for Slitherwing. Yeah, no, it has to be Garg. It's Garg. Every time. He Hyper Beamed. Okay, that would have killed me. That 100% would have killed me. That is huge. So we are going to go now into Screamtail. Hyper Beam. Hyper Meme. That's amazing. Scream Tail. Yeah, that's just dirty. Calm Mind. We do now live that. We're gonna wish. And we're actually going to pass that wish off to one Cologne. He goes to the Stone Edge, trying to catch us there, which is hilarious. Love that. We're going to Body Slam or Body Press? I think a Body Press first. Should have Body Slammed instead. That would have been funny. Nice. Okay. Now I get to T-Wave for free. Which I will do. Without hesitations. Let me T-Wave this. Would you let me T-Wave this? You would. That's toxic. I need to run up on like what actually has moves this generation, because everything doesn't have moves. Nothing has moves. Alright, I'm gonna Volt Switch. Get out of there. Scream Tail. He Sludge Bombed. That's bad for me. I'm gonna Psyshock immediately because I have to, and I think I lose. Yeah, I definitely lose. Yeah, there's no way that I win this at this point in time. Yeah, there's no way I can win at this stage of the game. Just go back into this. I could click Overheat and kill him, possibly. I don't think it kills, but I'm going to try it. It does. Cool. I am toxic, so that kind of just makes things bad in general. Like, I'm just not going to be able to do much of anything. Sylveon comes in. I'm going to T-Wave it, just for the sake of trying to. I do die. This is where I just... I Body Slam first. That's a lot more damage than I expected. I can't use Stuffed Cheeks now! No! No, my strat! I was hoping for the full para. Damn. I should just... No, I wouldn't have been able to... I should have clicked Stuffed Cheeks immediately. But then I would have been down at, like, 10%, so I would have been screwed anyway. I needed the para there. GG. God, that was such a tough game. Where could I have gone wrong? Where did I go wrong? I drafted this team. Okay, but actually, though, I switched around too much with Vaporeon. I needed to just kind of attack that thing. I probably should have sacked Lucario earlier. Yeah, I definitely needed to just attack that thing, get it weakened much, much, much sooner than I did. I just didn't... I got flustered when it Terra'd into Electric. I was not expecting it to be Terra Electric, although that makes a lot of sense. I guess Terra Electric works better because it doesn't make him weak to... Makes a lot more sense now thinking with like Rotom. It allows it to resist Rotom and also not be weak to the overheats. I think that was a smart call on his part. That was a really good Terra on his part. Yeah, it was a tough matchup. Bringing it to a 3-0, I think, was fine. Very bummed that he went Terra Electric in the long run, because my whole strat was just to paralyze everything and hope for the best, and I couldn't do that, and it completely killed my whole strat. Alright, but that's going to be week 1 in the books. See you guys next week, and we'll see what happens. I don't know who we play next week. Hopefully it's not someone who's really, really good. Next week is a cross-conference match, and we are taking Anthony. Oh, come on! So, yeah, we're up against Anthony and the Chicago Blazers. This week's going to be tough, but we'll do our best. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, I'm PokePrimer, signing off.